Hi there. Hey, I've got a question for you, or a few questions. What does love mean to you? And how does it feel? And what forms does love take? So these are questions that we were discussing in our practice session yesterday for the mentoring for people who have trained with me. And it was really interesting, the variety of forms that love took for people. So for some people it was, a hug and snuggles with their children. For some people it was a relationship. A lot of people described a really expansive feeling that came out and being beyond ego. And some people talked about connecting into a greater force than them. But what was really interesting is that no one talked about self-love, that love you have for yourself. And it was a really interesting thing because I guided everyone on a meditation to just go internally into their cells and look through their body and see where were they able to accept and recognize love, and where were they finding it really hard to do that, or they were pushing it away. And no one had 100% of themselves that could accept love, and in particular self-love. So one of the things that we talked about that might be relevant for you is this idea of compassion, and that to be truly compassionate, you have to be able to be compassionate to yourself as much as you are to others. So it took us on this journey of reflecting self-love. How do we have it? How do we know how to? And it took us into this journey of the fact that we've inherited so many things. There were some studies published last year talking about how the trauma that a man has experienced travels through the sperm, and at the time of conception you're carrying that genetic material from your father's and his father's trauma and grief. So we talked about how this is already inherent in us. So how do you know if the self-love or the lack of that is yours, or is inherited, or has come from the collective conscious? And we talked about, when some of the people that were in the group were commenting that when they were looking at themselves, they found themselves being full of judgment about who they were. That if you can look in the mirror and truly love yourself, and by that I don't mean the hey, look at me, I'm awesome type of egotistical love. I mean genuinely recognizing how amazing you are, and recognizing that you're this awesome being that's here at this time. So one of the women was describing how she found herself being so judgmental that she couldn't do that, and then feeling judgmental that she was judging herself. And we talked about that a lot of this judgment of being able to be fitting in and being accepted has been inherited. So a lot of our ancestors were scared of falling out of the tribe, falling out of their village, what would happen, and so they squashed themselves to be acceptable to others without really looking at who they were. And it's a really exciting thing at the moment to be able to step into that, who am I, what am I here for, how can I really love myself so that I can be all that I am. So it was a really awesome mentoring session. So for those of you who missed it and were really keen to find out what it was, you're welcome to explore those concepts of what does love mean for you? How do you know how do you love yourself? How do you know what parts of you can accept you and what parts are resisting? So I invite you to just sort of scan yourself and sit with that and see what that means for you. And I'd love to hear how that comes out for you, how you recognize love, what it is for you, where you're finding it a bit resistant to love yourself. If you can wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and go, what an awesome being. So enjoy. Love to hear your thoughts, and this is all just part of our self-discovery on learning to walk with love and be with love. So awesome to see you today. Thanks for taking the time to watch this, and catch you later. Bye.